Kurt Warner in his usual Wednesday spot right here, Pro Football Hall of Famer. And Kurt, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the fact that Bill Belichick is not going to be joining you and your colleagues in the bus gallery second he can, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all feel it's crazy with what he's accomplished. I mean, when you just look at what they've done, and you look at, we always talk about Tom Brady being the greatest of all time from a playing standpoint. I mean, you can't argue that Bill Belichick's the greatest of all time in terms of coaches and what he's accomplished in the NFL. And so, to me, it's one of those no-brainers. As soon as he becomes eligible, he should be a Hall of Famer. And so I think we're all kind of dumbfounded by how this went down and why this went down, and what were the reasons behind him not getting in, and are those reasons valid? I mean, we talk about the voting process now. Oh, did people pass up on him because they thought everybody else would vote for him and he would get in? Are people mad because coaches, only have to wait 1 year? And so, maybe Bill Belichick comes back to the NFL, so we don't want to make him a Hall of Famer and then have him come back to coach. Is that the thing? Is it the scandals that he was a part of? So we're gonna hold him out for what? Is this a 1 year? Like, hey, can't be a first ballot guy? Is this he'll never get in because of those things? I'm fascinated, like everybody else, to know what were the factors, that made so many people choose not to put this guy in that everybody that's watched the game and is part of the game knows belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, I think we all know why, Kurt, right? I mean, we don't know for sure because nobody's given voice, and it wasn't just a small smattering. It was 11 people.
Yeah.
11 people at least were the ones who decided it can't be, he could come back. His name hasn't been mentioned a couple of times through now coaching carousels.
Yeah.
He's approaching his mid-70s. It can't be that. It is definitely the scandals and then people in the room who felt that they were wronged by it. Or they are the guardians at the gates of the Hall of Fame, as if the Hall of Fame has never let somebody with a scandal or two into the hall. It's ridiculous. But I do have to ask you, because there are many Rams fans that from back in the day when you lost the first Super Bowl to Brady that thought that Belichick might have seen something in a practice of yours that was private. Do so I should ask you, you're already shaking your head about it. Like, do you think these scandals, the cheating stuff, should be held to account right now on Bill?
Well, I mean, to your point about other guys being in that, I mean, I feel like if anybody cheats the game or goes around the rules or does anything to gain an advantage over everyone else, that should be taken into account. I mean, that to me is what's great about competition. Is it's about going out there on an even playing field and seeing who can win in that situation. So I do believe, that if you have cheated in some form or fashion, that it should be taken into account at all times. But what does that mean? And as you said, how do we weigh that with all the different things that we've seen? What's too much? But if we wanted to come out with a rule and say, hey, if you break a rule in terms of going above and beyond to get a competitive advantage, you can't ever be in the Hall of Fame. I could live with that. I could live with that. So everybody would know from this point forward, you get caught using performance-enhancing drugs or, a cheating scandal, that's off the table for you. I could live with that. And now maybe, that stuff disappears and that's the choice that people make. I think what's hard now is how do you determine all of that, and what's enough to keep somebody out of the Hall of Fame, and what's the level of it? Because I mean, even with this, with the Spygate, I've heard so many different things on so many different sides. I have no idea what really happened there. I have no idea the extent or, how little was really done there and what it affected. I don't know. And so I don't have the facts to be able to determine, what really went on, how much it did really help them. Did that have a huge impact on the success, all that stuff? And so without having any of that knowledge and knowing what you just said about the Hall of Fame and different people that are in the Hall of Fame, I think the bottom line is he has accomplished enough to be considered a first ballot Hall of Famer and should be in the Hall of Fame. And it doesn't make sense to me that he wasn't voted in yesterday.
His accomplishments are so vast and absurd that you even laugh feel the need to account them, right? To actually use them to somehow, some way support a case for him being a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's how insane they are. You know,
you're exactly right. I mean, you look at, I think again, Tom Brady coming up in a few years, like, all you got to do is say the name, and it's like, yeah, he's in.
Unless they ascribe the same standard.
No, you're right. Unless that's why. But I mean, the same thing with Bill Belichick. I mean, I think we all just thought, oh, you just say the name, he's a lock. Let's move on to the next guy, type of thing. And so, yeah, it's crazy. I think to all of us that are involved in the game that it went down this way.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.